Welcome to Waupaca Local Live. I'm Marcy Boku and
I'm Deb Gerke.
We are so excited because this show, I don't know what to say about this show. I started crying when I was listening to you guys sing, but everybody knows I'm a big crybaby. But still, it's really awesome because we have kids here who spent the day together with Deb and with Hillary Reynolds over here in the shadows. And it was a songwriting workshop, and we called it an emerging songwriter workshop, kind of thinking, oh, that's a lofty term, but honestly, these are emerging songwriters, I'm telling you.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Such a magical afternoon.
It really was. We had such a good time.
Oh.
Yeah. So we split the kids. Well, why don't you explain what you did? Because I actually wasn't there. I just went and got the pizza. So.
Hillary, come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So explain what we did, and then we're going to talk to the girls, and then we'll get a
Well,
song
we
in.
just all gathered in a circle, and everyone picked a song journal, which I'm sure they have.
Oh, yeah, look.
You want to show your song journal?
And
so
a
great.
pillow, and picked a spot, and we all just sat in a circle and got to know each other for
And the
a
very,
while.
very first thing that we did, which really kind of set the space and the tone for our whole time together, was when the young women all showed up. They chose their journal and their pillow, and their first instruction, just on their own, was to choose a little piece of paper, not to write their name on it, but to write, if they had a superpower, what would that be? And so they each did that, and then their instructions were to just fold it in half and put it in the bowl in the center of our circle.
Yeah.
And that's how we started to get to know each other, was by listening to, we read the pieces of paper and just reading what came through as their superpowers. We could all relate to one another. We didn't know, unless some of the girls outed themselves. Some of them were like, oh, that might have been mine. But mostly we didn't know whose was whose, and it was really cool to just feel that power within all of us.
What did you guys think about that?
I liked it.
Was it cool?
Fun.
Does anybody want to share what their superpower is? You don't have to, but I'm just curious.
Sure, I will.
Okay, Dara?
If I had a superpower, it would be to read my dog's mind.
Oh, wow. That is a
Pretty
excellent
amazing,
superpower.
right?
I think what we should do is have this group introduce themselves and tell us what age you are and what school you go to. All right, so starting with you, Dara.
My name is Dara. I go to the WLC and I'm 8 years old.
Okay. You're almost 9 though, right? Okay. Next.
I'm Juliana. I go to TRCCS, and I'm 10.
Okay.
I'm Josie, I'm 13, and I go to Waupaca Middle School.
I'm Clea. I'm 10, and I go to the Chain Exploration Center.
I'm Kenna. I'm 11 years old, and I go to TRCCS.
Wow. I'm amazed at how many schools, the differences. So what was also really cool for me to kind of, as I popped in and out, was none of these kids knew each other really. I think maybe a couple kids knew each other.
There were a few that knew each
But
other
it's different ages, different schools, and it was just, you know, when I first came, I felt like you could drop a pin and you wouldn't hear anything. Everybody was just like this. And then when I came back, it sounded like there was like a wild party going on up there. It was just really
It's true.
cool.
I actually kind of noticed while we were having pizza, I went upstairs and there was just paper.
Yeah,
and
it was like a
pens
dorm room.
everywhere, all over the floor, and it was like creativity just took over.
That was the best
Yeah.
part. It really was such a creative energy. It was high energy, but it was focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really were so focused.
And,
I mean,
well, and you mentioned how like it was basically a disaster
It
area.
was, yeah.
And it reminded me, you know, when my kids, so my husband and I have 5 kids and we have 8 grandkids, and I used to just like be so distressed when their rooms were messy, but now I think that's a good thing. Because it's like you've got all these ideas and you got to have them out all the time in case you want to think about them, and that's what I thought of when I went up there. I thought, wow, messy rooms are good. So hopefully you won't have to clean your rooms anymore.
you don't see it as messy. Those are tools
Yeah.
for creativity.
Yeah.
And we definitely utilized all of them today.
So they broke into 2 groups, and it just sort of organically happened, right? I don't know
did,
how you did
yeah.
the choosing process or whatever.
Well, we chose, since Josie here plays the ukulele, we chose her to be sort of the captain of this team, since she's the one who plays an instrument fairly well.
Fairly
so
well
it was
for
very
April 13th.
easy. And she just sort of started strumming some chords, and part of the exercise was that we did a huge brainstorming, like sort of mapping of 4 big topics. And theirs was, which one was
Fear.
it?
Fear.
Yes.
Fear.
And so we have just like a page, full of all these different things. Like I feel afraid when.
This makes me feel fear, or when this happens,
Yeah.
I feel fearful.
What were some of the fears, you guys?
Like darkness and being like alone with your own thoughts and stuff.
Yeah. I saw one on there that kind of made me sad because I'm afraid of it too. But hearing bad news, you can't turn it off. Like overhearing it. It's not like someone told it to you, but you overhear something. Maybe it's at school or at home, and then you have to process it because they weren't talking to you.
There were actually,
That's a tough one for all of us, I think.
Yes, and there were actually a couple, maybe 2 or 3 of these young women. That was what they brought up, that was on their heart, was that it's hard for them wherever the situation is, whether it's at school or at home. You don't sometimes think that they're listening, but they are. And they're kind of afraid of what's being talked about, but they don't necessarily know how to process that or what to do with it. So
you created a song out of how to overcome it, right?
yeah,
How to overcome it.
And Hillary and I did not create these songs.
No.
These young women created these songs themselves. They really did, with a little bit of loving guidance from both of us, but really they found in their hearts what they wanted to express. And they worked together. Each of them had ideas for where the song should go lyrically, and not everyone's ideas could exactly be making it into the song, but they worked with each other to find the best possible avenue, and were very kind to each other through the process. It was really beautiful.
It really was.
All right. So what's the name of this first song? Because they're going to perform it for us, right? What's the name of the first song?
Lost in My Thoughts.
Lost in My Thoughts. You guys want to hear it? Yeah. All right. So Lost in My Thoughts.
Lost in my thoughts, there's no way out. Alone and afraid, I can't escape. But I know in the dark there's a light, there's a light. But I know in the dark there's a light. In the dark I'm alone, I don't know where to go. But I know in the dark there's a light, there's a light. But I know in the dark there's a light. Travel through the shadows and I finally found the light. It was there in my heart through the night, through the night. Now I know in my heart there's a light, there's a light. Now I know in my heart there's a light.
We're here on Waupaca Local Live with the emerging songwriters and with Deb Gerke, who was one of our facilitators, and Hillary Reynolds, who was the other facilitator, and she worked with this group. You want to tell us a little bit about this group, Hillary?
This group has a lot of talent in it, all kinds, and we have a lot of really great storytellers. And I just noticed a really interesting flow. There was no shortage of ideas. I feel we could have written six songs. Yeah. Specifically, there's just so much going on in each one's songbook, and everybody has different ideas. And like I said, we had 4 big words that we were brainstorming about, and theirs was
Bravery.
bravery.
Bravery. I want to ask about these songbooks.
Yes.
What's the deal? Everybody got the book, and there's like all kinds of writing in it. So tell us, you want to tell us about your songbook? You have a lot of
Sure.
pink writing.
The songbook
It's like 40 pages.
I used to brainstorm for all these different ideas that we had, and so when we put them all together, we all came out with the same ideas in a way.
That's cool.
So they would basically, brainstorm based off of the big sheet, of what it meant to be brave. And they each kind of started going off on their own little tangents. And Holly over here, our pianist, she sort of just started plunking away at chords on the piano, which was an incredible piano to be able to work with in Danes Hall. Gorgeous piano, and they were so beautiful. And I think that really what happened was everybody just sort of went into their own little writing space, and immediately people were exchanging ideas, and there was a lot of delegation, and just, like I said, no shortage of them.
Wow.
So
So, guys, what did you think about this session? Was it fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it fun? Tell us something other than it being fun. I mean, like, do you
What
feel
really
like,
stood out for you guys as
Yeah.
part of the experience? What was something that you really are like, wow, this made this really great today?
Singing.
Well, having her come in and help us write our own music, that was really neat.
Yeah, working with a musician who's really writing songs all the time, right? Yeah, amazing. And you said singing, right? You just really love singing. And that's what was so special too, is that this group, some of them have, they like music, but they just came because they like music. And some of the group really loves to sing, but has never played an instrument. And others in the group are playing 2 to 3 different instruments and are excited to be picking up new ones this next fall. And
violin.
yeah, like violin. And what else? There was something else that somebody's going to be picking up in the fall, right? Is it
viola? Oh, right. Don't say
Yeah.
violin when it's viola, please.
Oh, viola. No, it's
Okay.
both though. Violin
But
and
there's-
viola. There's
Yep.
both.
There's both.
Yes.
So you get to choose?
Yeah.
Is this at the new charter school or at the tomorrow?
yeah.
Oh, great. So
Maybe
you're
we
gonna
should
do
go down and
Suzuki.
say everybody's name.
Yeah, let's do that. We haven't done
Starting
that.
with Holly here.
I'm Holly Maxim. I'm 16 and I go to Waupaca High School.
All right.
I'm Elisa Forsyth. I am 11, and I go to the new CEC chain charter school in Waupaca.
I'm Anna Martinson. I'm 9 years old, and I go to new CC Chain Charter School.
I'm Sarah, I'm 10, and I go to TRCCS.
I'm Mags and I'm 9 and I go to St. Peter Lutheran.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, again, different schools,
Completely
different ages.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing. So what's the name of your guys' song?
I'll show you.
I will show
Oh,
you.
I thought you were going to show me.
I'll show you.
That was
In a
brilliant. That's
I'll
the name
show
of
you.
the song.
That is-
And
I'll
this one
show
is
you.
about bravery? Is that right, Hillary?
Being brave.
Being brave. Are you
Yes.
guys ready to do it? Are you guys ready to hear it? Yeah. All right.
I can do anything I want to. Even when the darkness falls, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you.
When I drink from the water, I hear the bear behind me. But when I fight the urge to run, I feel the brave in me. I feel the brave in me. I can do anything I want to. Even when the darkness falls, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you. Flips and tricks around the world, that's a star. Shooting arrows through the mist from the heart. When it hits the target, I feel the brave in me. I feel the brave in me. I can do anything I want to. Even when the darkness falls, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you. I feel the brave in me. I feel the brave in me. I feel the brave in me.
This is Waupaca Local Live, and I'm Marcy Boku, and we've got Deb Gerke, and we've got Hillary Reynolds, and we have a pack of wild songwriters here. And they're awesome. And we were just kind of reiterating everything about the workshop, but we really want to hear from our songwriters, right? So Deb, you want to lead off some questions?
Yeah, so let's do this fast popcorn situation. I know you're ready for this because we've got a tight group. So we're going to start with Elisa, and we want you to give us 1 or 2 words that sum up like how you feel about the experience today, and then we're just going to keep popcorning. Popcorning. That's not a word. Popcorning around.
I liked all the different creativity that was flowing through the place.
Cool.
Yeah, I would call it a fun and different teamwork experience.
Teamwork.
I like the techniques we learned.
I liked the writing part because we only wrote in 1 day.
I like it that we were allowed to make a lot of new friends. I liked working as a team and writing the songs.
I liked it that we all faced our fears of singing by ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Can I pass?
You can pass.
I liked singing.
I like that you can just use one thought and then it'll turn into a whole song.
Wow. Those are great answers. What do you guys think?
What do you guys
Great
think? What does
answers?
our audience think?
So I'll tell you what I like. I like that you guys have like really deep answers. I mean, are you guys like the best kids in the town? How do we get so lucky?
Well, we think so.
We think so.
Oh my
We
gosh.
think so.
It's just amazing. So we feel really privileged. Do we have any more questions that we want to popcorn them with?
What else could we popcorn?
What do you guys have for? I guess we would like to know. What do you guys plan to do to proceed with your music, if anything? This might just
It doesn't
be
even have to be songwriting necessarily, but it could be if that's really what you want to do.
Maybe it could be if you want to have, how does music play a role in your life, and how do you see that continuing to play a role as you go forward?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It will keep inspiring me.
I would like to grow a larger audience for my original music.
Oh yeah, and by the way, you're somebody that's writing music. I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah.
So where can we find your music?
Any music platform, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube.
And what is your name again?
Holly Maxim.
HollyMaxim.YouTube, something like that. I don't know. Obviously, I'm old. I'll find it though.
Spell your last name, Holly, because there will be.
MAXAM.
MAXAM.
Yeah.
That's a really cool name. Okay.
I just want to keep learning new techniques to use.
I just want to keep singing.
I want to keep singing and learning.
I want to keep singing and learning some new instruments, maybe.
Nice.
I want to keep facing my fears.
Oh.
Can I pass?
Yeah.
I want to keep singing and learn to play the fiddle.
I want it to keep inspiring me.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's so
They're the
beautiful.
best. They're the
It's really
best.
awesome. And so I just have another question for you guys. Was it cool to be doing it with a professional songwriter? And do you want to
Yes.
hear Hillary do a song?
Yeah.
I'll only do a song. I will only do a song if you guys, each one of you, go through and say whether or not you would do another songwriting workshop
Oh, yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
How many would do?
How many?
another-
Raise your hand
Yes.
if you would.
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right.
That's great.
Definitely.
I said at the beginning of our day today that this was it really was my idea. I said to Marcy months
was.
ago, I said, do you think as part of Articipation Week this year that we could do a songwriters workshop? Because selfishly, I write music, but I could get so much better if I could do like a workshop with Hillary. Wouldn't that be so amazing? Marcy's like, yeah. And Hillary's like, yeah, I'm down with that. So
Right. And we first decided we were going to do it with adults, but then we kind of thought that wouldn't be as much fun as doing it with kids. Kids don't have as much ego and they're much more open. I'm just teasing you guys. But then we had a hard time getting kids signing up. But
until we didn't.
and then suddenly kids signed up, and
Yes.
we also had a lot of adults with interest. So stay tuned to the Waupaca Community Arts Board for more opportunities like this throughout the year. All right, let's hear from Hillary. Wait.
Can we acknowledge one more thing?
Okay, one more
Just
thing.
because it's about songwriters. Before we started today, there were people in the group that had never written a song before, but some of them had. So just with a show of hands, show us who has written a song before today. or more. So a fair amount of them have already had this experience of writing music. And now, everyone, after today, how many of you have written songs? Everyone! Yay!
Well done.
Thank you for this experience.
Yeah, and thanks to all the parents who took the blind faith of signing them up for something that was pretty vague. And I think it really turned out great.
Yeah.
So let's hear from Hillary.
You and I, two lovers of the dreaming kind, found a place for our souls to be. We'll always find a light through the dark. We'll be chasing stars across the sky, just you and I. You and I, two dreamers of the loving kind. I've loved you since I was 17. We'll always find a light through the dark. We'll be chasing stars across the sky, just you and I. And I will never love anybody better. 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 No, no, it's just you. And I will never love anybody better. 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 No, no, it's just you and I. We'll always find a light through the dark. We'll be chasing stars across the sky, just you and I. Dancing as the years go